Now, here's a good one about a husband who handles things quite well when his wife was absolutely disrespecting him when they were out at a bar one night, I think listening to a band or something like that. And it's a classic example of don't get mad, get even. However, you're also going to see the old joke about women and accountability. And of course, guys, when women are behaving in such a way, disrespecting you, blah, blah, you have to really question your relationship and start doing some serious investigating. Title: Am I the a-hole for approaching another woman or women at the bar while my wife was talking to another man? And shout out to Todd for sending me this short story. This guy says, my wife, a 35-year-old female, and I went to a bar last weekend for some drinks and dancing. When we got inside, I told my wife I need to use the restroom and gave her some cash to go get us some drinks. Okay, probably wouldn't take that long. Short period of time this is all going on. After I use the bathroom, I find her at the bar with our drinks and she is chatting with another man. I have no issue with this. I approach my wife, grab my drink, and try to join them in the conversation. I felt so awkward standing there as this guy had no idea who I was and my wife didn't introduce me. How long does it take to go to the freaking men's room? It couldn't have been that long of a wait to get in there and get in and out of a bar. Okay, yeah. And already she's talking to some guy and ignoring him completely. Didn't introduce him. Yeah. This sounds like a very small version of a guy being cucked. You know, where for some reason dudes get off on this, where their girlfriend is hooking up with another dude and they're watching while she's there talking to some other guy, ignoring him, and he's there just standing there twiddling his thumbs. Oh no. So I stick out my hand to introduce myself as her husband, and the guy just blankly stares at me and gives me a limp wrist handshake. My wife and the guy continue their conversation and discuss their favorite bars in the neighborhood. So they're completely ignoring him. And now this guy, he introduced him as the husband here, and the guy's still just like, whatever, and starts talking. Unbelievable disrespect. I felt like the third wheel there, and I felt like my voice was being ignored. So I decided to leave the two of them talking and approach two women, also sitting across the bar, and make friendly conversation. Hey, she's talking to that dude, totally ignoring you, and that guy doesn't care. This guy obviously has enough confidence and looks that he can go talk to other women, no problem. Fine. How she reacts? Let's see this. The one was wearing a band t-shirt of one of my favorite bands, so we were talking about that. My wife saw this and began giving me the death stare. She then left the guy at the bar and pulled me away from these two women. It was quite awkward. Okay, so she can totally ignore you talking to this guy, clearly knowing that you're there, not caring at all, you know, all that, disrespecting you. So this guy walks away and talks to other chicks, and immediately he gets the death stare. And she comes over and pulls him away, or whatever the hell he's talking about here. Yeah, how interesting. Two can play this, sweetheart. But he's got a bigger problem here, as you all can see. My wife and I discussed what happened. I explained that I felt like the third wheel with her and the guy at the bar. No, I'd say, bitch, you're being fucking disrespectful, and you ever pull that shit again, we're fucking over. I don't care how long we've been married. They were ignoring the things I said, and they didn't even introduce me when I came up to them. I wanted to have some fun, conversing with some new people, like she was doing, which is why I started talking to the two women at the bar. I told my wife that her speaking with the guy and me speaking with the women are the same situation, except she did not even try to join the conversation I was in. It was not like we were discussing anything inappropriate. Literally just music, specifically the band the women were wearing a t-shirt of. Hey, he was just doing what she was doing. We've discussed this at length, and she claims they are totally different situations because I had to approach these women, where she was already seated at the bar and the guy approached her. I am over this situation and ready to move on, but my wife cannot let it go and has been giving me the cold shoulder since that night. So Reddit, am I the a-hole in the situation? No, you're not the a-hole. Now, you're the a-hole if you continue to this marriage thinking that everything's okay, because there's bigger problems here. She was, like I said, it was like this guy was kind of on a very small degree being cucked. She's there talking to that guy, totally ignoring him. He's standing there holding his drink, twiddling his thumbs, and that guy didn't care either. Right? As opposed to like the bedroom action where our man's actually being cucked. You all know what I'm talking about there. She's absolutely disrespecting him. This guy at this point needs to start doing his homework. When she's not around or in the shower, look at her phone. Start looking for evidence. Is she staying at night after work, late nights? Is she going out on girls' nights, girls' weekends? Is she guarding her phone all the time? Is she acting in other ways that seem a little different? I at this point might even think about hiring a PI, because if she's doing this, I can't imagine what she's like when she's out with her girlfriends for girls' nights, girls' weekends. She doesn't respect him. And if this guy finds something, I hope he handles it accordingly. But you can't tolerate this type of disrespect, guys. And I think it's great what he did, going over talking to those women. Of course, she's having a meltdown. And he's not the a-hole in the situation. She's the a-hole. And I have no idea how long they're married, but still, you can't tolerate that. And so I'm willing to bet you something's going on behind the scenes, really. Now, a few comments here. One guy says, not the a-hole. She's not introduced you as her husband. The guy would have moved on if she wasn't excluding you. Her reaction and basically ignoring you for him encouraged him. It took you talking to other women for her to finally stop talking to the guy. Well played, says the happily married woman of 25 years. That's from a woman. She knows this wife was pulling bullshit. Another one. Not the a-hole. Maybe he approached her and that makes it different in her eyes, but the minute you came over, she should have introduced you as her husband and brought you up to speed on their conversation. I would consider a huge breach of relationship etiquette. If she doesn't want you chatting with other women, she should have made you feel like the third wheel in her conversation. It's also BS that she's giving you the cold shoulder over a situation she caused. This is classic manipulation tactics. She knows she was in the wrong here, but she doesn't want to admit it. So it's easier to blame him. And remember, guys, about cheaters. Cheaters always make it out to be that everybody else is a cheater. And they'll try to twist things around and make it look like the guy is the villain in the situation. That's what narcissists do. And this is what she's doing here. I'm willing to bet you she has something going on, or has at least cheated once in their relationship. The signs are there. Another one says here, your wife will never win a Miss Cordiality contest. She allows a dude to hit on her, does not introduce you when you get near, which is a clear signal you are being ignored in favor of him, and has the audacity to bemoan the fact that you went and talked to others. Your wife was being hit on and did nothing to dissuade the dude trying to seduce her. She's got major problems if she's doing this right in front of you. You can guess what she's doing when she claims she's going out with the girls. Correct. Exactly. One more. This is typical behavior of a mate when they're cheating on you. It is their attempt to justify their actions by blaming you for the same improper behavior they are doing, even if the behavior you exhibit is not improper. Sorry, dude, there's something fishy going on with her. If you found her buying new clothes and underwear recently and has started going out with her coworkers and the girls and keeps her cell phone surgically implanted in her hand, your marriage is in trouble. It is time for the private investigator. Hey, freaking men. Yeah, this guy needs to do his homework on her. He handled it well, but no woman does it to a guy that they respect. And she clearly does not respect this guy. But she doesn't want him making her look bad. That's why she gave him the death stare and went over him and took him from those girls. And those girls are probably like, uh-oh, she's pissed, But no, she's a selfish a-hole. So I hope he does his homework and digs around. I mean, and even if she isn't cheating on him yet, like say he finds no evidence and actually nothing happened, well, you can already see the groundwork is being laid for things to happen. So, guys, let's learn from this. You relationship guys, you can't tolerate this type of bullshit.